The next morning, there was no sound of a rooster or even a cow. Farmer Fred looked outside and saw that all the animals were gone. "Oh no," he said, "all the animals are gone." Farmer Fred became sad immediately. Now, it was one thing to be serious, but it was another thing to be sad. Farmer Fred didn't like the feeling at all. How did Farmer Fred feel? Farmer Fred felt sad. He got into his truck and drove down the road in search of his friends. He went about 4 miles, but there was no sign of them anywhere. Then he heard some laughter in the distance. He followed the sound and saw the animals walking through the woods. He got out of his truck and walked into the forest and asked, "What's going on here?" "We couldn't stand it," said Edna. "We've tried to cheer you up, but nothing's worked, so we're running away. Well, walking away." The other animals nodded in agreement. "Well, that's no way to solve a problem," said Farmer Fred. "You don't just leave. I mean, sure, I'm serious, but that doesn't mean you have to be. And besides, we're family. I take care of you. I need you. Not to mention that you're safe on the farm. You'd probably be eaten by lions in a day or two out here in the woods." The animals thought about this for a moment. As they whispered to one another about the lion issue, Farmer Fred mumbled, "Cows and chickens running wild in the woods. Heh heh." Edna turned quickly and said, "What was that?" "I think he laughed a little," said Bernie. What made Farmer Fred laugh? Thinking about cows and chickens running wild in the woods made Farmer Fred laugh. "Yes," said a chicken, "I heard it. It wasn't much, but he did laugh." "Well," said Edna, "in that case, you're witty enough for us, Farmer Fred, and we care about you too. I guess we can go back to the farm." Who do the animals say is witty? The animals think Farmer Fred is witty. Do the animals like Farmer Fred? Yes, the animals care about Farmer Fred. The other animals nodded their heads and said things like, "I agree," and "Good idea," and "Let's go back." They hopped onto the truck and Farmer Fred drove them home. From that day forward, they were able to make Farmer Fred laugh a little more, especially by bringing up the idea of cows and chickens running wild, although he still doesn't see anything funny about corn.